Hey, I'm offering up. This is Brad, Tiny Texas Houses. Oh, and I got a helper today, a little kitty cat. I wanted to give you a quick glance at some incredible hardware like you've never, ever, hardly ever seen in your life. And it's actually some of it's going to be available for people to get. I'm just scan it fairly quickly and with a little bit of light on so you can see it. And this is some of the stuff we'll be selling at my estate sale. Living estate sale, yes. I'm still alive, in case you can't tell. 70 years old. But I have to clear some stuff out. So, pretty cool stuff. Okay, now, imagine doorknobs, everything with foxes hidden in them, and all sorts of other things with beasties hidden in them, even beasties hidden in the knobs. Ah, yes, so many things that you might want to share. Look at that, Art Nouveau, a complete set. I've got doors to go into. Look at that. Remember the old days of the push buttons, auto lock, can't pick it? This was the best of the best. Not that long ago in my mind, I'm still alive. Up on top, some of the stuff you see here, 1830s. Mint condition, perfect pair, original silver, 1830s. Look at the different types of glass knobs they had prior to what we have now. These were hand cut, over 200 different backgrounds and styles. And that was prior to, look at that, for a closet, so you have a fancy one on the outside, but you can serve and also don't have the inside get banged up, in case you don't need to have it that way. All the different variations, just for the knobs. Glass, and look at the shapes, they're not all the same. This one's never been ground down, it's rounded on the front. This one's perfectly round. That one's got four sides, more sides. This one's round on the sides. Background of that one is different from that one, yet that one's also rounded on the sides. You see how somebody's got ground flat on the front. See how flat that sits? This is again pre-1900 because it has a screw that goes through the side into the shaft. Look at how pretty that is after how many years. The backings on them, some of them, look at the bullet shape. And that one's done without grinding down the front. See, it's still rounded, but that's actually preserved. You can see that whole back. Here's one of my favorite styles, the ovals. Some of these, look at that bullet floating in the middle. Whoops. There we go. Isn't that crazy? So all these are from a period well before 1895. And when you look at that, incredible structure. And then you see the little beastie hidden in the doorknob. And look at that doorknob. It's not just a little normal at all. It's very unusual. That will cover up a modern hole in the door, ugly as it is. And I could put new hardware on there in the sense that the bolt, slide bolt, will be the same that you're using now, but you just have gorgeous hardware on there instead. Isn't that fun? Same with something like this. These could be adapted over to your house pretty easily. And then you could have something, this is called brocade. Look at that. This is again 1892. When the backs are done, you know it's pretty much pre-1900. That's one of the ways that you can spot the fakes. This is a special shaft. If you know the shaft, it's called a split shaft. And it's a sunflower pattern. There you go. And so over the time, you can see a lot of these things. This was cast iron, but early. So it was 1895 range. And be able to go ahead and even have emblematics. That's an A. Have A's and B's and different emblematics. Sometimes they were for just the name of the hotel. This is actually a stamped or wrought version a little later on. Still 1900 by the look of it. 1895. And for your transom windows, all that kind of hardware, a lot of that is stored over here. Some of it's gorgeous too. Look at this. That's a transom lock. They would go up there and you have your little rod. You pull that to lower your transom. That's 1895 Victorian. Talk about some nice surface mount locks. Look at that. This can be made to work without too much difficulty. Very simple, actually. And all of these, a lot of these will be for sale because I have copies of these, and I'm going to sell what I don't have copies of. And so that's a heavy-duty bronze. Look at the pattern. It's called a broken leaf pattern. Front and back. Again, what I said, 1895 range. Some of these, look at that. Cast iron, deep impressions, heavy. This is a set. Some people like sets. Some people like onesies. This is that has a special, very special, different type of mechanism over here known as a Gibson. Now the Gibson had a design that wasn't very popular, so they didn't last very long, but it is still functional and usable if you have two of the Gibson doorknobs that go together. Not that hard to find if you have a few of those laying around. Look at these. This is, again, you get back to that Art Nouveau patterns. So whatever it is you like, whatever it is you think is really cool and unusual, there's another door box. There's shafts and screws for all those doorknobs. It could be that you like something like, oh yes, what's hidden in the mini drawers? Oh, hinges. Oh. So later on, in the middle of the night, when you're wondering where you might get the pieces to make everything look just right, those slides go in the doors that lock, so you don't even see them from the outside. And then these that go from the side to side that turn them. Sets. Oh my goodness, how hard is it to find sets? And by the way, that's actually in beautiful brass. Not anything cheap. It'll last. Some of these things you have to wonder, oh my goodness, how do they make these? That's a mortise for a screen door, for example. Look at that. Still functioning. These are the sorts of things that if you're going to restore a house, you almost have to have them. Catches, very hard to find the catches that go with these. So you want to buy them in sets, if possible. There's one that's stuck in the back. There's the mate. See that little V right there? That would be the mate for that other lock. So when you start putting these together, there it is right there. Oops, there it is. That's the other side of the door. So all you need to move the doors, have those on both sides. Okay. How's that? Just a little bit of what you can see and possibly get your hands on during this next big sale. All of this has meaning, so much meaning. And if you ever wondered how these were made, look at that. That's what's inside. It's a ceramic disc, a donut, sort of. And this is hot lead poured in there, and then they shove that shaft into it. And that is what all the other kinds of doorknobs that you see are. See how that little spot? So if you glued it together, you'd have a whole knob. Now, in the old days, up north Pennsylvania, that would be for the black-skinned people in the house, and the white-skinned people in the house, and the brown-skinned people in the house, and the reddish-skinned people in the house. There's a ton of ways of saying which rooms you are allowed to go into and not go into. And for the system up there, you didn't go into this room if your skin was those colors. And so that way, in the house, all you had to do is separate the rooms. And some of the rooms would be downstairs. And very few of the rooms would be upstairs. But the servants could be just sort of controlled that way, if you know what I mean. All right, we're nearly 10 minutes, and I've given another nice little lecture on all the possibilities of the things that you might want to put into a house or use one day that'll be on sale in the near future. Some of the doorknobs, amazing. Oh, that's Poem Pod. There's some more K's for Kittel, in my case. There's a P for the Piccadilly Hotel. Another A. What kind of doorknob strikes your fancy? Let me know.